So, anyways, this is my question. I mean, the Brexit's too perfect a victory for the non-globalists like us, the libertarians. Like we know victory, like we've ever seen a victory in our lifetime. We haven't seen one victory. There are no victories for us. Okay, just wake up. We've lost every time. Every time we lose. I'm sorry, it's a bit negative, but you have to ask yourself: is this Brexit really a good deal, or is it what it is? You know, everyone says Wall Street, New York. If you think Wall Street, New York are the the financial capital of the world, you're kind of not smart because it's actually the city of London where they're not regulated at all, at all. That's why derivatives aren't regulated because U.S. banks say, "Well, look at the city of London. We have to compete with them." Well, is this a play for Britain and the city of London to get out of the euro and to trade with a very resource and productive cheap productivity, productivity. A very block that has very cheap labor, where the British could become again industrial powerhouse with high tech labor. You see, cheap labor can't do. I know. I work in, in manufacturing, and it's low skilled jobs have gone to Mexico. Cheap labor can do it, but the high skilled jobs, like it doesn't matter if you work automotive or aircraft here in Detroit. If you make tooling, in other words, if you make dies, bond tools, they, they call them the same thing, the mill fixtures, the MILB, the mother I love the fuck. Yeah, I can't believe they call them that, but that's what they are. They're mill fixtures. You can make good money here. The money's here, but the production's not. The tools are here. You can't erase or transfer the tool making skills. It's going to take them a generation to actually running the tools and see how they work, and then they'll be able to take over my job. But the production skills of making this tooling, you see, that's how production's made, where you get uh, parts that are interchangeable. Changeable. It doesn't matter when the part's made or what lot it is. They're all interchangeable because the tooling makes every part exactly the same. So yeah, Britain could fill that for Russia, and then on top of that, in, look, trade between the United States and China has fallen off a rock. All one has to look at is the Baltic Dry Index and see how cheap it's really cheap to ship anything around the world compared to a decade ago, where shipping costs were a lot more because Americans were buying. My question is, the city of London really realized that the United States and the European Union are fossils. They're part of the past. They're fossils. They're not. There's no resources in Europe, and there's no consumption here in America, and there's no productivity here in America. So my question is Britain aligning itself with Russia and then China? And remember, the British were in Hong Kong in 1899 to 1999. HSBC is in Hong Kong. Its headquarters is not in the city of London, which is odd. It's in Hong Kong. So this is what I'm saying. There's no victory for us. It's a realignment. I've noticed that every time something happens, it doesn't help the average working person, average working. It hurts them. And this will hurt. I'm telling you, this will hurt. I'm sorry to be so negative, but it's just been a lifetime of negativity that has brought me to this conclusion. The Brexit is a realignment. Britain is leaving Europe and the United States because the EU, for all, let's be honest, the EU is a puppet of the United States. And the British, remember, they were the ones who said, well, they were the ones, it was the British who left it to the Parliament to get, to start war with Syria, with, you know, have problems with Russia again on top of the Ukraine. This have problems with Russia and Syria, and this invade Syria or this fight Syria or ground troops in Syria. It was the British Parliament said no, and they nixed it. Anyways, again, things to do. Tell me what you think. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too negative, but this is what I think. The EU will be very hard on Britain, especially with trade. Will force Britain to trade with Russia, and it's a realignment. It's a paradigm change, and it's the City of London really getting on top of Frankfurt, and which is the German bank and Wall Street. So that's what I think. I think England or Great Britain will be faced with sanctions or a loss of trade with the EU, but then will be forced to trade with Russia, who's also under sanctions thanks to the United States. And just leave your comments, and that's what I think. I don't know.